What about you? Today we're going to cover the basics of getting your autumn lawn renovation done properly. I'm going to be scarifying, aerating, feeding and putting on seaweed. Let's go. Because we're doing beginner level tips, I'm going to shake things up a bit and I'm going to do the scarifying. I'm going to say that before I did this, last night I cut the lawn and it doesn't need cut now. If you were going to be doing this type of thing, you would cut your lawn beforehand. For the beginners out there who don't know what scarification is, it's a method. You have your normal lawnmower where the blades go round and round and round. With a scarify, your blades pull into the lawn, and I'm going to show you that. Come on, we'll have a look underneath the scarifier just to see the blades. So your normal rotary lawnmower would have blades going round and round, whereas this has blades that actually cut in. So they spin round and they cut into the turf. I've done a bit of scarifying just to see what height the scarifire's at. We'll get a lot of questions about what height you should set your scarifier at. I'd always say set it at a higher height and then you can bring it down. We haven't brought that much out of the lawn here, but I'm going to carry on and do a bit more and then we'll probably lower it after that. But I just want to test to make sure. I don't want to take too much out and damage the lawn. I've done a line and I'm not that happy with the height, so we're going to lower the blades down the end of the lawn to take more out. We still haven't reduced it enough, so now I'm going to put it down a bit more. What we ideally want to do is just flick the grass out, and if you have any moss, just pull it out too. I've seen some daddy longlegs stroke crane fly flying about this general area. Daddy longlegs, what happens in October, they plant their eggs in their lawn and those eggs turn into leather jackets and they can kill your lawn. Now your lawn can support a certain number of them, so I'm not going to be too worried about them just at the minute. A warning sign: if you have a lot of daddy longlegs on a building or close by on different surfaces, then there's a good chance that your lawn's going to be affected. Now, when this is August, September and early October. The daddy longleg stroke crane fly, that's whenever they hatch and they fly up, and then come October time they plant their eggs, and over October those eggs turn into larvae. That is the time you want to treat, towards the end of October. Now you can use nematodes and there's also chemical control on the market, but you need to be a professional to apply it. Let's get back to scarifying. That's the lawn now scarified. Today I'm just doing the one pass. If it was your own garden, then chances are you would be doing at least 2 passes. One of my reasons for that is whenever we have a look at the stuff that we pulled out, you can still see that there's quite a bit of sand down in the lawn from whenever we top dressed. I would ideally like to do some seeding, but I'm going to hold off until later in the month and we'll probably do another light scarify. Plus, we'll do some seeding and some top dressing. Now there's a range of tools that you can use to clear the waste off your lawn. Today I'm going to be using the lawnmower as the waste isn't that heavy. A small blower can be really useful as well for clearing up waste. You could also use a tool like this here, which is a landscaping rake, and I'll leave a link down below where you can buy one of these. You'll see these a lot in my videos. You can see that there's not that much to come out of this lawn. Now I'm just going to get the battery lawnmower out and we're going to run over it to lift any remaining debris. Welcome back. I'm going to let you into a bit of a secret here and give you a behind the scenes. I actually hurt my back filming the first portion of this video, so I've brought Jason down and he's going to give us a hand to get the video finished off. But first, I'm going to talk you through some different things to do with aeration. Come on, we'll go over here for a look. A few years ago, I did a video on how to aerate your lawn with cheap tools, such as a fork or a drill. This is probably not going to be that practical for most gardens. You can use a fork, however, with all the dry weather we've been having the last week, you're probably not going to be using any of these tools, and you're going to be looking at something more like an aerator, and that's what we're going to use today. You can, of course, use a fork if you want to aerate, or any other tools. However, currently filming this in a heat wave, but later on in the month, or end of October, or through the winter, or in early spring, you can use a fork, and it's going to be a lot easier to get it down into the ground. Just as the ground's so hard at the minute, then hiring an aerator is probably your best bet. You can hire an aerator for between 50 and 150 pounds for a day. Our next step is now to get the cores lifted off the lawn. I know a lot of people will be saying, Robbie, what's better, solid tine aeration or hollow core aeration? What I would say to you is, generally I prefer hollow core aeration. However, don't get too hung up on it. If you can only get solid tine aeration, do that. That's going to be better than no aeration. Our next job is now to get these cores lifted off the lawn. You can leave them laying on the lawn, however, I'm going to explain to you why I don't like doing that now. Some people advocate leaving these laying on the garden, and for a lot of gardens that's fine, but if you're on clay soils, I would say don't leave them, or I'd always lift them because it looks untidy having the cores laying all over the lawn for them to break down naturally. It allows the microorganisms to get back down into the soil, however it does look unsightly, and the thing is as well, you risk damaging your lawnmower or blunting your blade whenever you go out to cut your grass for the first and second time. You might end up leaving little mounds all over your lawn, uneven surface. Look, there's lots of downsides to leaving these laying on your lawn, so I'd always clear them up afterwards, and that's what I'm going to show you now, how to clear these up the best way. Jason's got a couple of rakes here to try out. We've got a spring-tine rake and we've got a plastic one, so this is going to be the most obvious thing that a lot of you guys will be trying to tidy up the cores with. So our first method here is the spring-tine rake. We're also getting another bit of light scarifying. Now it's doing not a bad job at lifting the cores, but it's going to be quite slow to do this entire garden. So you can see just the difference in speed between the plastic rake and the spring-tine rake we were using a minute ago.
If your method of getting the cores up is going to be a rake, I would recommend a plastic rake, as it glides over the grass a lot easier than the solid tine ones where this digs into the grass. As you saw, it was pulling out thatch. Next up, we'll try the big blower. How quick is that? But is it the quickest? Now to try the brush sweeper. just finished up using the brush sweeper there. It was a lot quicker, although when I first started I had it on the high speed mode, which I thought was a bit harder to use. I put it onto the lower speed and it was a lot handier to use. It's still a bit of a hard work compared to the blower, but a lot quicker. Final part of the cleanup is to get these cores lifted up and onto the compost heap. Now don't be tempted to use this stuff for levelling your lawn as it rots down. If you want to learn how to take your lumps and bumps out your lawn, watch this video next.